I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners and custodians of the land on which we are recording this podcast, the Bidjigal and Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. We pay respects to elders past and present and extend our respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people from all nations of this land. Welcome to the Pick Me Up podcast. Today, we have the amazing Kynthia with us, artist, singer-songwriter, boss bitch, doing all of these amazing things in the music space. You've just come back from the UK, right?
Yeah.
With your winning an award for the video that went with Collateral Damage. Do you want to talk to us a little bit about that and a little bit about what the song is about?
Yeah, sure. So the song was, it's written for the children of war. The animation that accompanies it, it shows it depicts the ongoings of war, not just what happens to children, but I think more importantly from a child's perspective. So a child witnessing all of the atrocities that happen during war. I think it was very relevant the past year.
Yeah, I was going to say, was the inspiration for that everything that's kind of going on at the moment? And I mean, my social media was just completely full of all of that.
Yeah, I think it was really scary to see we've all read history books, we've all we all know what happened in World War II, for example, and all of these significant wars throughout history that we read up on and supposedly we learn from. But to see it in 4K in this day and age and so much of it all over the media, and yeah, it kind of feels like it's really widespread as well. And even though the whole world was out here protesting and screaming about all these wars, nothing's done about it. It's still up to the leaders themselves, if they want to stop, when they want to stop. You know, there's no limit, there's no accountability. We saw it go to high courts and nothing really happened. So yeah.
It's wild to watch everything that's happening with all of that. Can you tell us what it was like to go over though and win that award in the UK and the collaboration that you did for this project?
Yeah, I collaborated with, she's now my friend Faith. It was funny because I found her on Google and then we actually became really good friends, and one of her friends, Ben, who she's worked with in the past as well, he took up the project, and it was it was really cool. I'd never done an animation before.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really sure what to expect. I think he did an amazing job. Yeah, they were really easy to work with. Faith is one of my best friends now. And was that the question?
Yeah, it was what was the collaboration like? And then going over to the UK and getting that award for that. Did you all go over together? Who went? What was that like?
No, only I went. It's pretty expensive.
Yeah, that's very true. That's a great point.
And time consuming. Yeah, I went to the UK. It was after the animation was done last year in August.
Okay.
And then I think September we started applying for film festivals, and I remember telling Chrissy oh my God, I got an honorable mention. I need to tell all the newspapers about this honorable mention.
Yes, good. Tell everybody.
And funnily enough, I did actually send out a few. No one came back to me. They didn't care. And I think now having 5 honorable mentions, 5 wins, a bunch of nominations, I think there's 13 altogether. It's been really surreal. I like the fact that the world seems to have not only appreciated the animation, but they clearly felt something from it. And I think it stands as it's not so much awareness because we said earlier, we've seen this in 4K, right? It's not we don't know what's going on in the world. But I think it stands as just a piece of kind of Banksy. He does artwork that depicts what goes on in war in a little bit of a confrontational way. And at the end, especially when we I feel we are the little girl in the animation, viewing everything from the TV, and Yeah, it's just kind of crazy. I forgot what I was talking about initially.
No, you're doing great.
Oh.
You're talking about you. It's really interesting because I've actually we've not spoken to someone who the visual and the poem and the story, then all the song comes to life, and it's just such an amazing thing in such an impactful space. You know, like we were just saying before we started the podcast, there's just so many things that are not being spoken about, and I think it's awesome that you're incorporating animation and song and music into this space. It's just such a creative way and different to how we normally hear about all of that, you know?
I agree. I think so too. I think it like touches a lot of people because they can feel the pain, and I think it was also to serve like expressing how everybody is feeling, not just me. And that's why people can relate to it a lot. I think also in the UK when I went, a really beautiful thing is like, first of all, I didn't expect to win. I just wanted to go for the experience. And I always said if I got the Season Award nomination that I would go to the UK. I love traveling. But yeah, I didn't expect to win. And when I spoke to the organizers, they were like, I don't know, because I think I said during my speech there, I said like, I didn't think I would win based on like the animation, like intricacy, because but I thought if I did win, it would be for the sentiment. And I had a girl come up to me at the end, one of the judges, and she was like, no, but it was a very well done animation. It doesn't have to be intricate to be powerful. And it kind of made me look at it a little bit differently, and I agree with her. But also just the way it touched her, the way a lot of people have come up to me and been like, oh, this made me cry. Yeah.
So it had the impact that you wanted it to have. Is that what you would say if people are sort of focusing on?
Probably bigger in a sense.
Great.
Like with the film festivals, like I don't think I anticipated that as strongly as it's come around. Like, yeah, I think that's been really special.
Yeah.
To be able to, share that with the world and really be, I wouldn't even say recognized for it. It's more like just the fact that people can strongly relate to it, that it can almost help them express their feelings too. Yeah, for sure. Which is really special in a way.
And is this something you want to keep going? Like, do you want to keep using animation with your music, or it's just a one-off? It was like a special. What have you got? Have you got anything exciting coming up?
Yeah, I have a music video for a song called E02, which is like a spoken word poem. Yeah, that one is about sexual assault. So that's coming out, I think, next month because it's the Sexual Assault Awareness Month.
Awareness Month, yeah.
I'm really excited for that one because it was my first music video and it went really, really well. Yeah.
What was it like being on set?
Kind of fun. I felt like I was really supported. Yeah. Because it was a really small crew. But people I've worked with before and like I work well with, they understand me, they make me feel safe. I think it was a very vulnerable thing to do, but again, I think it's like when you think about the impact that it has, how it can help other women come back on podcasts like this and talk about these issues. And yeah, I think that one is definitely more about spreading a bit of awareness. Yeah. I think although it is talked about and people know it and so many women experience it, I feel like it's still not taken as seriously as it should. I think men aren't educated enough or held accountable enough to stop these things from happening to like so many women. And I feel like more women, than not would have experienced something like this.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So there's clearly an issue about it. Yeah. So the song is kind of about expressing that, but also trying to hold somebody accountable as well. Yep.
And was that, and feel like don't answer this if you don't want to. Okay. How was that putting that into like a visual, something with such a heavy content? How was it creating a visual image for that?
I mean, I feel like at the same time, like I kind of knew what I wanted it to look like. I knew what I wanted the feel to be. I think one aspect of creating film is like the ability to be really artistic and creative with it. So I think for that one in particular, I was inspired by Ren, and he had this, I think he was talking about schizophrenia, was it? Yeah. Schizophrenia, and he had Am I talking too soft? Okay, cool. Yeah, he had this video on schizophrenia, and I loved the way he portrayed it and the rawness of it. And I remember actually I had done a photo shoot with Dan, who was the videographer, and it was a very like femme fatale, like for different projects. Very beautiful looking shoot. And I remember him telling me on the phone, like, you cannot be picky about what your visuals will look like for this. You just have to be raw and you have to show your emotion, which means that you won't particularly like look super beautiful. So that music video, actually, I didn't wear makeup, didn't get my hair done. I was just very literally naked, which I guess was, I think, again, the creativity of it was really exciting to put together. The set was really lucky. Like, I think it got demolished like a week after or something. I think we were one of the last shoots, if not the last shoot in that set, yeah.
Yeah, wow.
And they had everything, like it was so perfect. Like the room was exactly like the Pinterest board that we created. Everything just came together so well on the day as well. Wait, what was the second half of that question?
It was just like, what was it like to be on set to create something that can be such heavy content into a visual?
Yeah, I think the other aspect of it was that while I was on set, I think my best performance, I would say, because I think one take was particularly powerful. I feel like with a lot of my poetry, especially now that I'm trying to do a lot more spoken word, I realized when practicing, I get really, really emotional. And it's like you said, it's pretty heavy stuff. And obviously it's like speaking on lived experience. So it really drags you back to those memories. But I think during the music video, it was like almost like a good thing that I was able to be dragged back to those memories, to be able to express myself in the words the way that they needed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said earlier, it was like a safe space that was created with everyone involved to allow me to do that without, I don't know, feeling too like nervous about it, I guess.
But it allowed you to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is so important and can be so difficult to find.
Yeah.
So it's so, I think it's just so great that you were able to do that. And I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
I think it's really awesome that you're doing such powerful things in this space. So thank you for sharing all of that.
You're welcome.
We're going to do a little top 3 now, if that's okay.
Yep.
So top 3 is, I'm going to ask you what your top 3 items are. And I think it's appropriate because you just said before that you liked traveling. And the one that you have been allocated is, what are your top 3 things that you take with you anywhere when you're traveling? And I didn't plan that, everybody.
Top 3 things when traveling.
Yeah.
I think my Sony noise cancelling headphones for the airplane.
I recently flew to Adelaide, took my AirPod case and my AirPods were not in it.
Oh my God.
And I was like, I don't know how to go on. I was like, how do I get on a plane without the noise cancelling headphone?
No, literally. Even today when I flew in from Melbourne, I had AirPods, but I didn't bring my headphones.
Yeah.
So I guess it's not a top 3. But I was like, I'll be fine. It's just like a 1.5 hour flight. There was just so much annoying
It's so loud.
kids. And not to say that I don't like kids, but on airplanes it's questionable.
Yeah.
It's a good contraceptive, let's just say that. But yeah, I forgot my headphones and my AirPods weren't even good enough, so I can't imagine your pain.
I was just like, I sat there and I was like,
That's
I can't even
flight.
sleep. I can't do anything.
That'd be so annoying.
Yeah, it was annoying. Okay, so top 3 noise cancelling headphones when you remember them.
Yeah, when I remember them.
I think one of mine would be a lip balm.
Oh, for sure. Definitely need lip balm.
My other one would be ginger tablets. Like,
I was going to say that and I was like, why am I relating everything to an airplane though?
I take ginger tablets with me everywhere because if I get anxious, I get nauseous. So I take them and then I don't know, maybe it's like a comfort thing now. It's like a habit. But
no, I think it's better always to be safe than sorry.
Yeah.
I get really, really, I didn't bring them this time either. I didn't bring any of my travel essentials. I didn't even bring my lip balm.
Are you based in Sydney?
No, I'm from Melbourne.
You are based in Melbourne?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So your top 3, cancelling headphones. You going with your lip balm?
I usually bring a book.
Yeah,
I don't
okay, that's a good one.
actually use it ever. Rarely read it. But I like to have it just in case. Because, you know, when life gets so busy, it's like you don't have time to read. But every time I travel, I'm like, surely I'll find like a spare window. Or I'll be bored. But I never am. Yeah. So I bring a book.
Yeah.
I always bring a puffer jacket on the plane because it gets really cold.
And you could probably double that as like a...
Yeah. Again, I didn't bring it this time.
Really nailing the top 3 essentials.
I think I've mentioned like 10 and I haven't brought any of them. I didn't even bring a book.
So we're going with headphones, book and puffer jacket?
Yeah, sure.
I think that's a good top 3. I feel like you'd be good anywhere you were going. You'd be prepared if you remember them. All right. So we're going to go into the next section of our podcast, which is the mental health section. So Listen Up Music is creating has a really amazing community where everybody, I don't know if you've been to any of the songwriting prize nights, but it's a really amazing community where people share their mental health stories and they write music about it. And it's just built this amazing, and that's how I know Athanasia, who's here filming, and how I know Chrissy, through all that space where we're here to support each other in this space. And, you know, they're here helping me today through this amazing community and sharing all these wonderful stories that you've brought as well. So we just like to touch on that a little bit. And I guess my question for you is, how do you look after yourself?
I think, first of all, I think it's really important to have a strong network of like friends, family sometimes, but I think that not everyone's like super close with their families in a sense that they can open up about their mental health. I know with mine, I don't really talk about that. I think a lot of the time I just hide it from them, like avoidant, which might not be the healthiest thing, but I have a lot of strong friends who support me in that. And I can like call people, or like if I'm really bad, I know select people that will really help me with my mental health. Yeah. I think. Oh, sorry. No,
my next question was going to be: do you pretend that you're okay with your family, or do you just say no, or I don't want to? You just pretend you're okay.
Yeah, I always just pretend that I'm okay. If I'm super super bad, I just won't like see them for like not for ages, just like for a day or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. It's just been always something that I feel like I am more protective over my family, I guess. And I support them with theirs, but I don't feel super supported or comfortable with mine, I guess. Not as a bad thing. I love my family so much, but in a sense it's kind of good because they kind of take my mind off things because they're always like such a positive space for me.
That's nice. I think that's such an important thing too, for your family to be a nice positive space.
Yeah, but I think the friends that you surround yourself with is like the family that you get to choose.
Especially when you get older too.
100%.
You know? Yeah. And that's right, you can pick them. You can pick who they are.
Yeah, you really can.
Yeah. Sorry, were we going to add something then?
I was just going to say, apart from that, I think I like being around nature if I'm feeling like anxious or sad.
That's a good one.
I like going for a walk in like at a lake.
Yeah.
Or like, I don't know, just somewhere like close to water, close to outdoors, rivers and stuff. And I always give myself grace. So I don't put too much pressure on myself to be like super productive. I eat whatever the fuck I want.
Love that.
Sorry for swearing.
You can swear as much as you like.
And I go gym. I love the gym.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Great. I love that attitude. I think that's positive.
I have a therapist. I see her here and there.
How was it when you first decided you wanted to go to therapy? Was that tricky? I know just before we started we were talking about it's always difficult to find the right therapist. And I feel like that's a good topic of conversation, because I had the same thing. Like the first time I went to a therapist, they were like, I don't know why you're here. I was like, huh? What do you mean?
That's ridiculous.
And you said you had a similar experience. Did you want to talk about that at all?
Yeah, sure. I think my first ever therapist was probably when I was like 16 or 17. I had an eating disorder. And so I went in to see this guy. He was really funny. I don't think I like super liked him, but he was okay. So we stuck around. He helped here and there. He helped me like name the voices in my head so I could listen to the one that was like important, not the one that was like killing me. And then I saw a therapist in hospital after that for bulimia. She was very cutthroat. I only saw her like once or twice. She was just like, you're gonna die. But it was good because I switched after she said that. And then after that, I saw a therapist after my DV situation. I sound like a mess.
That's what this podcast is about. It's about sharing the stories and you know, building that community and making it spoken about. So,
yeah. I actually would really want to talk one day about recovering from the eating disorder, honestly, because I think a lot of women go through it, and men, but mostly women. And a lot of the time they feel like it is a part of them or something that they have to live with forever. And that's what I thought for a long time. And it took me about 4 or 5 years to fully recover. But I think just knowing that you really, really can is super important. But anyway, yeah, my other therapist was after my DV, same as you. I got referred to this lady from the police. It was a free government service. I won't name it.
Let's not do that.
Let's not taint their reputation. But after 2 sessions, she was 2 or 3, I can't remember, to give her a bit of grace. But she was like, "Oh, you're fine. You don't need to talk to me anymore." And I was like, "Oh, okay. See you later."
Wow.
Yeah. And then I found my current therapist. She's good. She's normal.
Is great to hear.
Yep.
That you found a good one after that journey. I think it's a really difficult space to navigate because, as you said, like the internet is such a huge space, and it's like, how do you know how do you know where to go now on the internet? Like I ended up having to go through a friend who was seeing someone who like that way. Like I got the recommendation through a friend who was seeing someone who they recommended because I was like, at least I can trust my friend. Because I just felt so out of depth in trying to know where to go and who to trust and what information to trust. Yeah, it's so hard.
Even in Australia, I don't know about you, but when I was trying to find specific therapists for specific things, it was really hard. And a lot of like the good ones have major wait lists.
Yep.
And then if you want to get like rebated or anything, it's also extremely like, long wait list unless you want to pay. I mean, Medicare's pretty all right, but you only get 10 as well. I was like, it should be like 1 a month minimum. It should be 12.
Yeah.
And then more if necessary. But I don't even think that I don't know if they give out more.
And sometimes even that 10 depending on who you're going to, it only covers a certain percentage, and you're like, you know, whoever you're seeing, it's like you're still paying up to $150 after your 10 sessions, like as part of your 10 sessions.
That's so bad.
Like that happened to me. I was doing my 10 sessions, but I still was paying $150 because it was only covering a certain percentage of what was happening. So it's like, it's also really like the education around it is really difficult to keep up on, I find.
Yeah, true.
I'm like, wow.
Even doctors struggle. Like you go to your GP and be like, what's a good therapist? And they'll be Googling it. Like, I can Google it too, honey.
Yeah. I know how to Google.
Yeah, literally though.
Yeah. All right. Do you have anything else you want to mention or talk about before we wrap up and do our scenario? Is there anything else that I've missed?
I think also just as a young female in music, I think it can be really hard to navigate in a sense. Maybe this applies to men too, but just entering the industry at a pretty low level, but I feel like I've met a lot of people in the industry pretty high up. Like it's really hard to know who has your best interest, who to trust. I guess you could say this for any industry as well. But I feel like music, a lot of artists, especially female artists, are so vulnerable. Not in the sense that they are easy to manipulate and stuff, but also just their content. Like, as someone who speaks about stuff like DV and my experience and sexual assault, and really cares about topics like war, these things are so vulnerable. And I think just knowing that there are people out there who take advantage of these things, particularly men, is really sad, because you're literally talking about it at the same time. And I think everyone just tries to get $1 out of you. And a lot of people are actually really underqualified. Like, even if they're like got high positions or worked with all these celebrities, like, you work with them and you're like, how? Like, literally how? It's kind of crazy. But my advice would be just like, stay true to yourself. Remind yourself why you're doing this all the time. I think that keeps you going. Your purpose with music, your passion for it, and just kind of also have fun with the creativity of it and keep going.
Love it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, we're going to do a little scenario now. So your scenario is one of your friend's bandmates has written a new song and can't wait to play it to you. You've just finished listening to it with them and it's the worst thing that you have ever heard. 3, 2, 1. Lovely. Thank you so much, Kynthia, for coming on the podcast.
Thank you.
Can't wait to see. I mean, I haven't seen your animation video. Can we see it?
Yeah.
Is it out? Where do we see it? Where do we find it?
YouTube, if you just type Collateral Damage animation Kynthia, it should come up.
Everyone hit that up. We'll put a link to it when the podcast comes out. We'll pop a link to it. Follow Kynthia on Instagram. Follow all her socials. All of her socials will be in the podcast notes, so you can hit it out there. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Bye.